Are you tired of weight loss products filled with artificial ingredients and empty promises? Discover the power of nature with Pure Revive, the ultimate solution for healthy weight loss. Check out the link in the video description now to start your journey with Pure Revive.
A wrongful accusation has led to a near-decade battle by a mother and father after their children were taken from them. Lorena Bourne and Jason Troy had their children taken away by Texas state officials following an investigation from Child Protective Services after claims of abuse against their youngest son. The parents have filed a federal lawsuit against members of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services and Ascension Health, the private healthcare system that oversees Dell Children's Medical Center in Austin. The medical center is where, according to the lawsuit, Bourne and Troy's youngest son, Jason Jonathan Troy, was assessed in 2015 to have suffered from shaken baby syndrome. However, the couple says the assessment of their son, who was 5 months old at the time, was done improperly. The lawsuit stated that around 4 months after his birth, Jason had a large head circumference and suffered from frequent vomiting. Brain imaging was done on the infant and he was investigated for shaken baby syndrome. There was fluid in his brain that needed surgery to drain. 2.5 years later, a doctor was hired by the family's attorney to review Jason's medical records, finding that Jason did have a chronic fluid collection in between his brain and inner skull, according to the lawsuit. The fluid accumulates due to a medical condition of infancy called benign external hydrocephalus. In this condition, there is a backup of fluid circulating around the brain's surface. Jason's birth records show that he was born with a collection of blood between his scalp and skull that was due to birth-related trauma, according to the lawsuit. Ascension Seton Medical Center Austin, the hospital where Jason was born, didn't tell Bourne that her son had suffered a birth injury, the mother told ABC News. She added that she and Troy didn't know of his condition until an attorney searched through Jason's birth records. The lawsuit doesn't allege medical malpractice, however, it states that if Dell Children's Medical Center reviewed Jason's records, it would have contradicted his diagnosis of shaken baby syndrome. Bourne told the outlet that if she knew of her son's injury, she would have been able to fight against the child abuse allegations early on. After Jason's surgery, the parents were reported to DFPS on suspicion of shaken baby by Dell Children's Medical Center and an investigation was immediately launched, according to the lawsuit. Troy was charged with 2 felony counts of injury to a child in 2015 and he later turned himself in to the Travis County District Attorney's Office. The charges were later dismissed in 2018, according to court records. DFPS removed then 5-month-old Jason and his older brother Kainoa, who was 4 at the time, from their parents' home on July 20, 2015, and were placed into foster care, read the lawsuit. It made me feel horrible. As a parent, you try to do everything you possibly can to take care of your children. And you're taking them to the doctors to get answers, and they misdiagnosed him, Bourne told the outlet. It was just so heartbreaking and shocking and devastating for it to be turned around on me and wrongfully interrogated and investigated, promptly investigated for child abuse. Instead of being placed with other family or relatives, Jason and Kainoa were placed into foster care for 150 days, according to the lawsuit. It was so heartbreaking not having them, said Bourne. I had to go to court several times with our attorneys to fight to get them back. And we were only able to see them twice a week for only 2 hours in the Child Protective Services Visitation Center. And it was just so heartbreaking because every time that they would have to take them back to foster care, they would cry and ask us why we can't go home. The couple was reunited with their boys on December 21, 2015, shortly before Jason's first birthday. However, the charges against Troy weren't dismissed until about 3 years later. Bourne and Troy sold their house to pay attorney's fees and Troy lost his job. However, he has since gotten a new one. The 2023 Netflix documentary, Take Care of Maya, showcased the family's plight. The documentary follows a Florida family that was in a similar situation after losing custody of their daughter after being accused of child abuse by hospital officials. Bourne